I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 88. Before we start the show, just a quick reminder that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. You can also email us at ratedgforgamers@gmail.com. We appreciate all the love and support. I'm your host, Dave Rotino. This is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster, formerly known as Classic, Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Oh, you know what's going on.
Do I know what's going on, or do I know what's going on?
You know what's going on.
I know what's going on.
SNES Classic dropped.
It's here, but the question is, did we get one? Did we both get one?
That's a very good question.
So what's the answer?
Yes.
Yes.
We both got SNES Classics, baby.
And I gotta say, thank you Nintendo and thank you Amazon. Amazon Treasure Truck.
Excuse you. Thank you.
Did I fart?
Is there a thank you going out to me? Who hipped you to the Amazon Treasure Truck? Who didn't know what the Amazon Treasure Truck was?
Okay. Technically.
This is Dan admitting. This is Dan giving me a thank you right here. I want to let people know this is what Dan Robinson does.
Technically, if you want to get technical, because you're a technical person, right?
Just go.
You're a technical person.
Just say it.
Technically, 5 minutes after you told me, my tech guy at my job told me, "Hey, Treasure Truck has it too. If you want to get one, it's still available in New York." So I just want you to know, technically, 2 people told me.
I'm gonna take it. That's fine. Thank you. That's the best I'm gonna get out of this guy right here.
You're welcome.
That's the best I'm gonna get out of this guy right here. All right.
So what was the journey into us buying? Because this was a long journey. We didn't buy this. We both bought it at the same time, technically. But we bought this middle of the day.
Oh, you think I have a story involved with trying to get the SNES Classic?
Well,
that it wasn't so just let's just go on Amazon. Oh, hey, here's the Treasure Truck. Oh, you can get an SNES Classic.
Well, let's take
we all get SNES Classics.
Let's take it back to the beginning. Okay. So
let's take it back.
The day before, on Thursday night, I told you I was exhausted.
Well, let's take it back a little further.
Even further. Wow. I didn't even know this started.
Our plan of attack was all right. Are we gonna take off Friday? We're going to camp outside of a Best Buy or a Toys R Us or a...
2 locations. We're going to do 2 locations, too.
Right.
Divide and conquer.
And basically, we'll wait online. If we can get more than one, we'll get more than one. We'll try and get one each, at least one each, if not 2 each. And then, sell it at retail price to, somebody who wants it.
Oh, plus shipping.
Plus the shipping and all that, sure. And all that, unless they're local. So then, fast forward to Thursday, I'm too tired.
I told you, the end of the month and what I do for a living, my, grown man gamer stuff, GMG baby, hashtag, it's a thing. Anyway, I was exhausted. Fine. I was working 15 hours a day all week, and I was exhausted.
Right.
And I was
exactly.
We both couldn't take off though. We both couldn't take off Friday.
No.
So. And I was like, I'm exhausted. You were texting me. I was already sleeping.
I know.
So
because this guy over here isn't hardcore, but that's okay. I said, Dad. I got you. Go to sleep. Get your 8 hours of sleep.
Actually, he didn't say all of that because I was already sleeping.
Yeah, no, he was already done.
I was already asleep. I was already passed out.
Nonetheless, in my head, I got this. So I went to the Best Buy in Union Square.
Whoa! You missed the best part. You were already out with your coworkers, getting blasted. By the way.
Oh, I rolled it into a thing.
Yeah, you made it a whole big thing.
I rolled it into a thing. So I was out with the coworkers at company outing. And afterwards, I just went to, again, the Best Buy in Union Square on 14th Street to wait. And by the time I got there, they already had given out all the vouchers, right? People probably know the voucher thing. There's a line of people. Usually companies give out vouchers, right? And they're like, here's your thing. Come back at this time. You don't get it by this time. We're gonna sell your we're gonna sell your hold on it, right? Which is fair. So I get there, all the vouchers are gone, and there's like 30 people deep already. I brought a chair, open my chair up, and I sit. I wait. They go on sale at midnight. Everybody gets theirs at midnight. And like clockwork, everybody who came out, they were going down the line. Yo, I got that SNES Classic, $200. I got that SNES Classic, $200.
Wait. So the people who had vouchers went in, got their SNES Classics.
Everyone was flipping
and tried to flip it to people on the line for triple the price.
Everyone was flipping it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like triple the price, right? I know one of the guy who was right in front of me, ended up buying one for $160.
Double the price.
Yeah.
Way too much.
I mean, I didn't say it to him, but I'm like, dude, come on.
How did he look? Like a kid?
He was like in his mid-20s.
Okay, so he's a young man. He's a young man.
He's a youngin', yeah. I mean, he probably should have known better. I'm like, dude, just wait.
Should have just listened to Reggie. What did Reggie said? Don't buy from scalpers.
Exactly. Reggie said to wait. So
hashtag Reggie said to wait.
Hashtag Reggie said to wait. And like, it's funny, like as we mentioned at the top of the show, we both got one the next day, like super easy.
Well, the same day, because that was at midnight, right?
Well,
technically
it was
see, there we go. We
got it that Friday. We just got it later in the day.
Yeah.
So if that kid was smart and just waited 8 hours or whatever, he could have Amazon Treasure Truck, right? He obviously lives in the vicinity of Manhattan. It's easy enough for him to
we don't know that. We don't know that technically.
He was close enough to Manhattan.
We don't know. Maybe he traveled out here from upstate New York, or maybe he traveled from New Jersey.
Highly doubtful.
Who knows?
Highly doubtful. But anyway, like he could have just waited. He just waited and got it on Amazon. It was easy enough. I heard that people just went to other stores like GameStops and other like Best Buys that weren't as popular and were able to get their like 7 or whatever and get a voucher and like good to go. So like it wasn't even that bad.
Well, I woke up. Well, let me tell the story from my perspective. So I woke up that morning. I gotta go straight into the office, go to work. It's the last day of the month, so it's gonna be crazy. And I saw that you text me at like 11:45.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't even want to look at his text because I'm like, he's probably like, hey, I can only buy one. Sorry, I got it. You don't.
So I would have been in that case.
I didn't look at your text for a while, and if I looked at your text and I was like, "Oh, you didn't get one either. That sucks." Oh man, now I'm like calling stores because it's like early morning now. That was like 10:00.
Right.
I'm calling different stores, and everyone's telling me the same thing. Hey, we give out vouchers in the morning. Come back at 1 because that's when those vouchers expire.
Right.
And then we'll sell you those.
1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 1 in the afternoon. It was like 10:30 in the morning when I started making phone. 10, 11 o'clock, around then. So my tech guy in my office, we have an office in New York and New Jersey. So he's in New Jersey, and he calls me. He's like, hey, did you get one? He's like, I got one. And I was just like, wait, how is it possible? Did you get one? Why didn't you buy me one? And he's just like, well, I went to Target. And I was, they giving out vouchers. I was voucher number 76, and I got one.
Nice.
And they were only giving, you can only get one per customer.
Of course.
So I was so pissed. I didn't want to talk to him all day. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. And he knew I was mad. I was like, I want to talk. He's not even a gamer. That's what made me even madder. He's not even a gamer.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating. This is exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna play it for like a month.
Yeah.
And then he's like either gonna like try to sell it or just maybe give it away to like a kid or something.
Okay. That's also fine.
Yeah.
He's not trying to game the system and spin it and make a huge profit.
At least not right away. I don't know how much he's gonna try to sell it for.
Well, maybe, but that is yet to be seen.
So later on, you did text me about Amazon Treasure Truck.
That's right.
And you said you bought one. So I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what it is. So I'm like Googling Amazon Treasure Truck. And it's apparently a new thing that Amazon...
It started like last week.
Really? It was a new thing that Amazon brought out. This was, I guess, maybe their second event, sort of, right? And it was exclusively for the SNES Classic.
Yeah. It's perfect timing.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what they
As I'm searching for it, my tech guy calls me. He's just like, hey, I see online that there's something called a Amazon treasure truck. I was like, I know, I'm Googling right now. I don't know what the hell this is. And I find it, I buy it, and you know, it was pretty much reserved until 8 o'clock that night, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
all right, you go there between 12 and 8. Basically, like, they do a rando item. If the truck is in your area, they will send you an email or a text or whatever alert you have set up, right? Mm-hmm. And it just tells you, like, all right, look, Amazon treasure truck, here's what's in the truck today. Do you want it? And you can buy it.
So
you go there and pick it up.
I was definitely afraid that it's like, if I don't get there by 8, they're gonna say, or even maybe before 8, a little before 8, they're gonna say, hey, we don't have any more. You're gonna have to come back when we're back. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Because this is uncharted territory. I've never even heard of Amazon treasure truck.
Yeah, it's brand new.
So I leave work pretty late, like, well, late for me, at like 6:30, 6:45, maybe 6:30, and I get there in 20 minutes, and they have 2 tables full of just like Super NES classics. Like, they just, like, tables just full of red bags. They put it in the red bags.
Yeah. It's treasure truck bags.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, Dave, you better get here. Because, like, this line, I got in pretty easy. But behind me, it was like a million people, like, coming in with their phones out, ready to just, like, pick it up. So, and then finally you got there.
Yeah. I wasn't worried. at all. Because I knew, like, it's, it's one per customer. So they have just as many. Because I know, like, they sold out. So everybody who pre-ordered one, if they come before 8, they're good.
And it's one per account, because I tried to buy another one.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't let you do that.
They wouldn't let you buy another one.
You could sign up for a new account and try and do all that.
Yeah, by the time that happens, it would have been sold out anyway.
Exactly.
However, an added bonus to doing the treasure truck and me not waiting 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning for a store to open, was they were giving out, if you play it like a little game, they were giving out free collector's edition posters.
Yes.
So I waited for you to come. You got there pretty late. You got there around like 7:30, 7:45.
Yeah.
So I played the game again, and I got all 3 collector's edition posters.
Yeah, they're nice. They're
Nintendo Power.
They're Nintendo Power covers. Yeah.
Yeah, for the SNES. Then you have Star Fox 2, Super Mario World, and Link to the Past.
Yeah, second best game of all time, Super Mario World.
Super Mario, I mean, the best game ever made. Yeah, Super Mario
for
World.
the Super Nintendo, sure.
The best game ever made for any system. Yeah, I know. So basically, I'm not into framing stuff. I'm not a framer. I don't have a lot of things.
You don't have anything framed.
I don't even have my college diploma framed.
But these you're gonna frame.
These I think I'm gonna frame. Like one frame with all 3 in.
Yeah.
And I think I want to make it sort of like no back. I want the back to be glass too, so you can see, like, because the back, I mean, nothing really special. It's pretty much the same as the back of the SNES box, but I think I want to have that out too, so people can see.
A floating glass frame, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I may do that.
Well, I got a guy.
You got a guy?
Talk to me.
You got a connection?
I got a guy.
You got a connection? I'm probably not gonna do this until Christmas.
He does all my posters, but I got you.
I know you got a lot of things framed.
I do. I'm looking at the Game Boy one I have here. I did myself because it was the exact size, so that was like perfect. But yeah, all the other ones I got out there.
So I just want to give a thank you to Nintendo, Amazon, and thank you, Reggie. Hashtag Reggie said. Okay, like hashtag Reggie said wait.
Look, I ain't even gonna be butthurt over that. It's perfectly fine. You do you. I don't need thanks.
Good, because
I know what I did. I hipped you to it.
Well, thank you.
Because you could have gone 5 minutes later and they could have all been sold out. So
they weren't sold out because my tech guy told me 5 minutes later.
I told you to go, and you were already on top of it, taking a look. So whatever your tech guy said, that could have been too late at that point.
I just want to thank Matt from New Jersey, my tech guy. I appreciate you for looking out.
Wow.
I appreciate you.
Look, this is what I have to deal with, people. This is my co-host right here.
I just want to say, Matt, man,
Dan, I will not give you credit, Robinson. That is your new nickname.
Matt, I just want to give you credit, man, for looking out. I appreciate it. I love you, man. I don't know what I'll do without you. And a slight thank you to Dave.
I don't even want it. I'm not even going to accept it.
You know what? I'll take that back.
Good.
All the credit goes to Matt.
I don't even want it.
All the credit goes to Matt and Amazon and Nintendo. Thank you. Thank you, Reggie. Hashtag Reggie said wait.
So here is a think we just found our episode title. So here's an interesting bit. We did a while back.
Before it was even announced.
Before it was even announced, we're like, I mean, after the NES was out, it's like, what about the SNES Classic? That could be a thing. Makes sense. So we picked out, I think, 15 games each, right?
We did. We thought it would be 30 games, just like the NES Classic.
Right. It should have been. 22 is good. It's strong, and there's some strong titles in there.
Well, it came that's unreleased. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll get into Star Fox 2 later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because that'll be our convo of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Should retro games be reviewed under modern standards?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do the review roundup for Star Fox 2 as well. So let's see how many games did we get right, because we both picked 15.
We did, yeah.
So,
we did, and to kind of qualify these, we made sure that if you picked a game, I made sure not to pick that game because it's just kind of we would probably have all the same games.
Well, we were collectively going to pick all 30 games, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
I kept it safe. I kept a lot of first parties that were sort of like, if they were going to do it, they had to have this game out, right?
They're easy wins. They have the license.
Yeah.
They're the ones that produce those games.
But you got a lot right too.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start with my list. I mean, since I had the first party ones. The best game of all time, Super Mario World.
Of course. How could that now be on the system? And
that would be blasphemous if they left this off the system,
yeah.
right?
It's like, we don't have the license for it anymore. Like, wait, what?
That doesn't make any. Well, first of all, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Of course.
That had to be on there.
Of course.
Donkey Kong Country 1.
Of course.
I thought that had to be on there. A lot of people wanted 2 because 2 is considered a better game.
It is.
But 1 was the classic one, right?
I'm surprised all 3 of them aren't on there, honestly.
I'm not.
Those are easy wins.
I'm not, because you're not going to, I mean, look, I know Super Mario World 1 and 2, but that Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island really isn't Super Mario World 2. They put the title in for America,
right?
Because they didn't want people to think it was a Yoshi puzzle game,
right?
So that doesn't count as a sequel in my eyes. But we don't get a lot of sequels on here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just like they have it. It's their game.
I know. A game that was sort of like they should have, but I didn't think was going to make it. They actually did make it. Earthbound.
Oh, now this is a no-brainer.
So, people who are complaining about, the system being $80, why don't you just go buy Earthbound by itself for $200?
Yeah. Loose is the price of the system, if not more.
Yeah. We got Zelda: Link to the Past.
Of course.
No brainer. Mm-hmm. Now, this one was like out there. Like, I didn't think this was going to be happening. I didn't think they would reach a deal with Capcom and put this on, but they really did. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Not Super.
Just the Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Yeah.
Which is interesting because I would have went with Super because it's got the 16 characters total.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They went with the classic Turbo.
So we got that. I was wrong. I was wrong about 2 games, and I was wrong about this game. I thought Final Fight Guy. That was my
There is no beat 'em up on there.
There is no beat 'em up on there.
Right?
No.
That is severely lacking.
You would think they would have put what was that game? Captain Commando.
Captain Commando, the game you just bought, the Japanese game you just
pretty
bought.
much. That should have been on
something,
there.
Yeah.
Well, Star Fox 1 was going to be on there.
Of course.
I never in my wildest dreams thought Star Fox 2 would be on there.
No.
Super Castlevania 4.
Of course.
That's actually on there, which is funny enough. Super Mario RPG that we both thought that's a wild horse. That's
tough,
yeah.
Because it was a whole thing with Square and whatnot, but they worked it out.
I said, you know what? That's one of the staples of that system. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got that game. I think I got that game for my birthday. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it was RPG. I never played any RPGs prior to that.
You haven't told the story before.
Yeah. My parents.
I got it. I might as well play it.
My parents just thought it was a new Mario game, so they got it right. So I was like, oh, this is not Mario. What the hell is this thing? But I stuck it out. I actually went through I would say most of the game, at least half.
Yeah.
So
it's a solid game.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
So then we got Super Punch Out.
Of course.
I was like, that has to be on this, right?
Mm-hmm. It's another Nintendo exclusive. It's like their game.
Super Mario Kart has to be on there.
Right.
That's another one. The whole kart series started on Super Nintendo.
It did.
Contra 3,
mm-hmm.
which I was like, maybe, but it was.
Yep.
It was on there. F-Zero must. Has to be on there. And I was wrong. Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they obviously got the license from Square to put out some of these titles, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, maybe they wanted to hold Chrono Trigger for their own. Maybe they're doing some sort of re-release, or they didn't want to conflict with the DS version that came out a couple years ago. You know, who knows? Who knows? But it's solid, you know, and a lot of these titles here that are on there, I mean, you got 13 out of your 15 picks made it to the thing. A lot of these titles are like games that came out originally.
Yes.
Right? You
yeah,
know,
pretty much.
Like Super Mario World was a pack-in title, right? Final Fight Guy is the kind of enhanced edition with like Guy and Hagar. But Final Fight was like one of those launch titles. Super Castlevania 4 launch title. Super Mario Kart, well, it was 92, I guess. But, you know, Contra, F-Zero, those games are like launch titles too. So it's a lot of those. So,
all right, so let's go to your list.
Yeah. So my list, I only got 2, I believe, right, out of like all of these. But it's a solid mix that would have rounded out the next.
Well, I think when we made this list last year, it was I was going to keep it safe and go to all the first parties.
Yep.
And then you were going to like go out on a limb on things that really should be on the list.
Well, I mean, these are games. These are classic Super Nintendo games that could and should be in there, I think.
All right, so let's start.
Final Fantasy 2, obviously.
Which made it?
No.
3/6.
Right.
Yeah.
Which the better of the two, the best game of all time, Final Fantasy 6. I'm sorry. Sorry, Super Mario World.
No.
Best game of all time. Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. Surprising, not on there. NBA Jam Tournament Edition would have been awesome, but probably some licensing issues with the
NBA
players and whatnot.
Yeah.
I thought all the 3 Final Fight games should be in there. None of them are in there. There are no beat 'em ups in there, which is one of the marks against the system, I think. Mega Man X made it in there. Mortal Kombat 2 didn't. I guess Street Fighter was the fighting game that they put instead.
Well, they could have, they could have made. Well, Street Fighter 2 was the one that had the blood in it, right? That's when they finally had the blood.
Mortal Kombat 2 had the blood.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 2 had the blood.
So they could.
Blood codes. No.
They could have put Mortal Kombat 1 in there.
With the sweat.
With the sweat, no.
2 is objectively the better game.
Oh no, the 2 is the better game, but this is Nintendo, right?
To keep it family friendly.
To keep it family friendly, you could have had just Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. I mean, I would have taken it. Ogre Battle, one of my personal favorites. That's a bit of a stretch. You know, it's a tactical RPG game. It's interesting. I don't know if everyone would be super, super crazy about that, but I thought SimCity should have been in there. Again, that could have been a licensing issue because EA now owns the SimCity rights. Maxis doesn't own it anymore. EA bought Maxis, so maybe there was some issues there. Turtles in Time? Come on. Turtles in Time should have been on there. King of the Dragons, another great side-scrolling beat-em-up game from Capcom. I thought that would have been a good addition. And Tetris Attack. There's no real puzzle games on there.
There are no puzzle games on
Would
it.
have been good. Yeah.
Listen. I agree. Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Turtles in Time, the second best Super Nintendo game. Chrono Trigger. Mm-hmm. And how can they not have Power Rangers the movie on here?
So those are the ones that, out of this, they're missing.
But Power Rangers the movie should have been on here.
The Power Rangers the movie is like The Order 1886.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's a completely average, mediocre game that you just love for whatever reason.
The Power Rangers the movie game should have been on this system. This system would have been worth $90 if they would have put that on there. I'm sorry. Power Rangers the movie.
You just want to ride off the hype of the new movie that just came out. Everyone's like backing.
Well, they did.
Yeah, Power Rangers.
Yeah, you play Power. You play the old Power Rangers. You play as Tommy. It's a great game. It's a great game. I love that game.
So out of these, like the 5 that should have made it from my side, Final Fight, obviously, Ogre Battle should have been in there. Just personally, I would have loved to see Ogre Battle in there. SimCity, of course, that would have been great. Tetris Attack, you need to have a puzzle game, and Mortal Kombat 2. Why did they not put that in there?
Because of the blood.
Well, I know, but I'm just like,
that's why.
Nintendo, come on.
That's why, because of the blood.
So yeah.
So we've played the system. I think we give it both 2 thumbs up. I think we really like the system.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, they have 5-foot cords. Still not long enough, but, it's better than the 3-foot cord.
You don't have to sit Indian style in front of your TV now.
Not as much, but I ended up buying the extenders for it, yesterday.
You just gotta pull up your table.
Yeah. No, I got the extenders. I'm good. I can sit back on the couch now. I got a good, 10 feet.
Well, you can use the NES Classic controller on there as well. It's the same port.
It is the same port,
and it does work.
You want to hold the buttons.
You won't have the trigger buttons.
Yeah.
I know.
So you tried it?
Yes,
it works.
It does work.
Oh, wow. You wouldn't be able to play any game.
You wouldn't.
No.
You can't play any of the games that use trigger buttons. No.
Or even the X and Ys.
Yeah. You can't. So, I like the system. The system is great. I haven't really. I mean, I've dived into Super Mario World, best game of all time, and I've also dived into Star Fox 2.
Same, yeah.
So
it's weird, I didn't like that. Everyone knew it was in there. It's on the box that it's in there. It's not a surprise, and they have the game all wrapped up, and they're like, play Star Fox 1 and beat the first level. I was like, really?
Because they want you to get used. If you never played Star Fox, they want you just to play the first level of Star Fox, and then you unlock part 2.
It was just dumb. It was just a dumb hoop to jump through. I wasn't about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think it was dumb. I thought it was great. Listen, this is a canceled game. If you want to play,
it just came out.
If you want to play this canceled game, it's 20 years old. You're gonna have to unlock the first. You're gonna unlock the first level of the first game.
You can just download the ROM.
Well,
somebody ripped it.
Well, it was already dumped. Yes.
Yeah.
Online.
Well, I mean, it was already dumped. Somebody dumped the one from the SNES Classic already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was already dumped.
Yeah.
Somebody already hacked the system. Well, the system has the same board as the NES Classic. It's just a different shell.
Very interesting, yeah.
So
I did not know it was the same chipset and all that stuff in there, which is awesome. Makes it very easy to pop out some more. You can just kind of
which makes me believe why this is the NES Classic is coming back because it's not going to be anything different. It's the same board, just a different shell.
It's just the outside shell. Yeah, that's a smart move on their part to do that because it probably didn't cost them anymore. Now, the one thing I'll say about this is Nintendo was banking. It seemed like they were banking on the NES Classic doing well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because why would they put all the R&D in there to be like, all right, we're going to make this board support the SNES Classic and the NES Classic because we want to put out the SNES Classic down the line.
Now, I'm not a technical guy,
but
it's the same board,
yeah,
different chipset. So I don't.
Well, no. I'm sure all the hardware is the same. They just put different ROMs on there so it can support. It's probably got the SNES and the Nintendo instructions on there to run like both. So I would assume it's the same. But I mean, you need a little bit more R&D to make the board compatible with both, right?
So maybe they said, you know what, if it sells, then we'll go forward and do SNES Classic.
Well, that's what I'm saying though.
And they probably can run N64 games too.
Maybe. I don't know if it'd be that much more work to do to get it to do that. But I feel like, I feel like they knew the SNES Classic was going to do decently, and they were all geared up to put out, which is why it came out so quick. They were just ready to go.
So, all right, we both love SNES Classic. We both had it was a roller coaster day trying to get this thing.
I know.
And added bonus, I got the posters, which is I am super psyched for. So I will say thank you, Dave, for telling me about the treasure truck because I went and got the posters.
Finally.
And Matt, you gotta share the things, Matt.
All right, whatever.
But a game that's not on this. That I've also been playing. I played a little bit of. I haven't played a lot of because I've been playing the best game ever made of all time, Super Mario World. I'm gonna beat it on the Super Nintendo Classic, by the way.
Way to beat a dead horse.
I'm going to beat it on the Super. I beat it obviously on the SNES.
Did you get all 96?
I got everything.
All 96
I beat
worlds?
it. I beat it on Virtual Console for the Wii U. And now I'm gonna beat it on SNES Classic.
Of course.
So, but I've also been playing Cuphead.
Finally, this game comes out.
It's out front. It came out the same day as SNES Classic.
I know. The game is beautiful.
The game is beautiful. The game is tough. But I have to say one thing. The tutorial took me 2 seconds to go through.
I know.
How can you not?
Dean Takahashi, are you listening? It is not that difficult.
How can you not know how to jump and dash?
You can not be good at video games and still get past a tutorial mission. If you can't get past the tutorial mission, there's two things: either you're really bad at video games, or the tutorial is borked.
Maybe his demo, because he played demo.
Yeah.
Maybe his
game was like 2 years in the making.
Maybe his demo was just off.
You giving him a lot of benefit of the doubt here.
I know. I literally was playing it like on pins and needles, like, the tutorial's gonna be hard, and I'm like, this tutorial's easy.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the first
you
level,
jump and you dash and then you're over the wall.
Yeah, the first level I went to though. I was like, oh, this is easy. Why did everyone say this game? As soon as you get into the middle of the board, all the sprites just start coming at you like crazy. They come from behind, from in front of you, from the sky.
Yeah.
The stupid thing that's the plant that's in front of you is spitting stuff out. It's like they're just nonstop.
Yeah, it's
so this game is tough.
It's crazy. Like those old cartoons are crazy.
Yes.
It has tons of stuff going on.
This game is tough.
Question: Can you do online multiplayer?
I don't know. First of all,
you can definitely do local multiplayer. I know that.
Yeah, but that's something I would never even think to look at because
online multiplayer. We need to play online multiplayer.
If it has it, then we'll play it. All right. So the game is tough. I haven't played a lot of it. I've only played the first level. So tutorial on the first level. So I really want to dive into the game. It's a game that you can't just mindlessly play. You have to actually concentrate and play this game.
It's like an old school Nintendo game.
Yes.
You need classic concentration.
You need classic concentration.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god. There it is.
Yes,
there it is.
Let's do a quick review roundup real quick. So IGN's review is still in progress because they did not get the codes until the day of.
Interesting.
So
you think that was it was a slight on the developer's part in any way, shape, or form, or you don't think it's?
I don't know. Maybe people are trying to test out not giving early review codes. GameSpot gave it an 80. Polygon gave it an 85. Yahoo, which I didn't even know, reviewed games gave it an 80. Destructoid gave it a 9.5, and Games Radar gave it a 100.
Perfect game.
Give it a perfect game.
Wow, interesting.
Games that are this Dark Souls hard with side scrollers, I don't think deserve 10 out of 10, but that's just my opinion. We don't give review scores, but next week I would have played more of the game to actually give a real opinion on the game. I just know that first level. Well, the first level. Let me preface. The first level I did because it's like an open map. And it's only so many places you can go. So you can go to like at least 4 or 5 different levels on the map.
Right. It's like open world, yeah.
It's sort of open world, sort of like the map. You can hit 5 different things, but you can't go anywhere else.
Right.
You can't
until you unlock the
until you unlock. Yeah. So the level I went to may have not been a level that I should have started out with. Technically, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
But from all the reviews that are out, it's pretty much like that on every level. So we'll see. So I'll have an opinion on the game hopefully next week. I'll play more of the game.
So far, thumbs up, thumbs down?
So far, thumbs in the middle.
Okay.
It's
undecided.
It's undecided. So, all right. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll get into all the news of the week. And then we'll get into Convo of the Week. Should retro games be reviewed under modern standards? And we're back. All right, so let's get into the news. There's a lot of speculation over this Ataribox that came out during E3. Well, right before E3, I think.
Right. We saw the website. Saw this.
The teaser.
Right. They had the old school style one and the new school.
The 2 prototypes. Yeah. Well, not an actual prototype, but just
like the shell.
The shell.
The outside.
Yeah. What it would look like. The design of the shell.
Right.
I was a little bit more optimistic than most people on YouTube, on the interwebs.
Yeah.
So they actually they released a little bit more details about this, and I think I'm out.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Well, first of all, let's just the elephant in the room. Okay, this still mysterious box is going to cost, depending on what configuration you get, between $250 and $300 and at launch. And they're trying to launch this in the spring of 2018.
Right.
$300. Listen, I can get a Switch. I can get a PS4. Well, I can get a PS4 or an Xbox One for cheaper with the game.
I know.
And this system's not even as powerful.
I mean, it's got a Linux OS in there. It's gonna
get hacked, manipulated.
Right. I mean, sure. I mean, it's probably going to be very easily hackable for sure. Which is cool and all, but I can do that on my PC. Hell, I can do that on my SNES Classic. I can hack it and put a bunch of ROMs on there and whatever else. It's not giving me anything new than what I already have or can get out there for cheaper, right? Just kind of like you're saying.
He's going to use a custom AMD processor. It's going to run Linux. It will run mid-range PC games.
Right.
But also have a web browser and ability to stream video, music, and apps.
Which basically you can run Wolfenstein: The New Order, but not Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
Well, it will not be able to run AAA games that require higher performance, obviously.
Right. So Shadow of Mordor or the new Shadow of Mordor that's coming out can't run that.
Nope. Well, you can't run any Call of Duties.
Right.
And it'll also it'll offer a selection of Atari Classic back catalogs. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna spend $300 to play Pitfall.
Right.
In HD.
Right.
It's not worth.
You can get the Pitfall cartridge for $1.50. It's not that difficult to get. One thing that I do like the way the one with the classic wood grain looks. It's kind of got like an old school feel with like the new white LEDs. Like it looks cool. But for me to even like think about it, it should have a cartridge slot on there.
Well, here's the
should have a cartridge slot.
Here's the kicker. This is not something that's just going to be out in Best Buy or Amazon, right? Or even sold probably on Ataribox.com. This is being kickstarted through Indiegogo.
Yep. Which
means they don't even have a working prototype.
Possibly not. Yeah, you don't have to have a working prototype to put it up.
That's ridiculous. You want me to spend more on a PS? First of all, it's more than a PS4, more than an Xbox One. Not the Pro, and obviously not the X, but just the
base model.
The base model, and if I get the highest model here,
$300,
it would be the same price as Switch.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be playing any modern games on this.
No.
Are you kidding me?
You're not going to have any exclusives.
Not going to have any exclusives. Well, I could play Pitfall that came out 30 years ago.
Well, you can play that on. You can play.
I can play the original Spider-Man game.
Throw a coin. You will hit a game system that will be able to play the original Pitfall because they ported that to like everything.
Every game. First of all these games are like 50 cents for the original Atari.
Yeah, I know,
the value plummeted. Right? In the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, in the late 90s. The value plummeted.
And it never went back up.
And I was under the belief that if this was a system that was actually good, that the value of those games would go up. Right? Especially if they had a cartridge slot.
Yeah.
For those old games, which they should have. That was their first mistake.
That was a big missed opportunity right there.
I'm not buying this. I'll take it if I find it in a garage sale for $2, but I'm not spending $300 on this. Are you kidding me?
It's sad too.
Indiegogo? What if they don't hit their mark?
I know. It's so sad too because the one with the wood grain looks fantastic. I want it for that alone, but $300, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, I think I'm out. That's something I'm not going to be into. They're going to have to lower the price. They're going to have to, and first of all, Indiegogo, I don't even know when it's. Did they say when it starts? When they're going to start? When they actually go put out? Because they want this released in the spring of 2018.
Right.
Like that's soon.
It has to be in somewhat working order.
Listen. They did R&D for the PS4 and Xbox One, literally 2-3 years after the 360.
Yeah, they already started to work on it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you gotta be kidding me on this. I mean, they already R&D'd the Switch, like. a year after the Wii U came out.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, here's the thing, though. Like they gave out the Switch real late to developers, right? Wasn't that like the dev kits and whatnot?
Yeah.
So, and this isn't. This is just playing all pre-existing games. There's not necessarily. I mean,
you want me to spend? So basically, you want us to spend $250 to $300 on old games that cost 50 cents.
Well, I'm not saying that anybody does it per se, but I mean, I think it'll be okay when it comes out to market. I don't think it's going to be great.
I think it's gonna be. First of all, it's not gonna come out.
You don't think it's going to come out?
They're not gonna hit their mark.
Maybe not.
They're not gonna hit their mark. This is not gonna come out. This is not. They're gonna have to change some things. This is ridiculous.
You want to make a bet on that?
I don't know. Now I gotta see.
And you're not sure.
I will.
No.
I will make the bet.
No. Right here and now.
I want to see their goal.
Right here and now.
I want to see their goal.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I want to see their goal. I want to see their goal. I want to see their.
All right.
I want to see what their goal is first.
Hold up. I'm gonna look this up right now. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Right now. Give me just a sec.
This is a great podcast. This is a great pod. So we're gonna look up an Indiegogo. I don't think it's out yet. It's not out yet.
Well, I'm gonna take a look. Well, there's a new game for the Atari 26.
Well, they've already. No, that is not it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, you know what got funded on Indiegogo recently?
What's that?
That Resident Evil board game.
Oh, interesting.
That got funded real quick too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
But for a board game, you don't really need to have a. I mean, come on, they don't have to have a prototype. But they had it. I mean, obviously they had
the board.
They had the board and yeah. But that hit its mark.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's not out yet.
All right.
It's not out yet. But here's the deal. No.
I will take that bet. No. The answer is no. The answer is no. I gotta see.
I
gotta see when they're.
You're not sure.
I gotta see what their goal is.
You're not sure.
If their goal is $250, then yeah, it'll come out. How about that?
There you go. You are not a grown man gamer, because a grown man gamer would have made that bet.
You're not gonna get out of here. You're not gonna sucker me into making a bet when I don't know when they're coming out. No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna work.
Right.
I'm not taking that bet yet. I gotta know what their goal is.
You're weak.
I gotta know what their goal is.
You're weak.
Anyway, you know what's weak?
What's that?
Besides Xbox One sales compared to PS4?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's a low blow.
Love that transition.
Love the bell.
Love that
Get
transition.
Get in here.
Apparently, Xbox had a prototype smartwatch that they were working on in 2013 that was rumored slated for a release in 2015. Prototype was actually found in the wild. The watch sort of looks like a take on the Apple Watch a little bit, just a little bit bigger.
Now, to be fair, this prototype, 2013, was before the Apple Watch was announced. Correct?
Yeah, but you know, developers, everyone's friends. I'm sure they share things and behind the scenes.
I don't know about that. Apple is pretty tight-lipped about their R&D.
Yeah, right.
They are.
Just like the guy who left the prototype iPhone 5 and iPhone 6S at a bar.
Oh, you think he did that on purpose?
Yeah. First of all, that's not true, because ever since Steve Jobs died, all right, every Apple leak has been true. Every iPhone leak has been true.
See, they're going downhill. They're slipping. They lost their fearless leader.
So
they have this Tim Cook in there who's like, he's a second-rate Otto Bismarck.
So no. Anyway, they still have billions in reserves. Whatever. They have so much money that is rumored to be buying Disney.
That ain't gonna happen.
They have more money. They have more money than Nintendo.
Disney will buy Apple before Apple buys Disney.
Actually, no. Apple is I think the biggest company in the world.
They're not gonna buy Disney. Disney's not gonna sell.
Actually, first of all, they could do a takeover. Disney's they're a
publicly
traded company, so they can take them over. But they can actually buy. They have so much money that they are rumored to be buying Disney. That's how much money Apple has in reserve.
Anyway,
now only if they can put the headphone jack back. But
anyway, I know, right?
So there was a rumored. That was my only knock on them. So there's a rumored Xbox smartwatch. Now let's look at the timeline here. The rumors are 2013. To be in development for a 2015 release. That tells me that they were sort of anticipating Kinect being a bigger, like, to me, in my opinion, they're anticipating Kinect being a bigger part of the Xbox One ecosystem.
Well, I mean, it did real well on the 360.
It did, because it was a new thing
Yeah.
that, they thought that, the next generation would take more advantage of.
Right.
Which it wasn't other than telling my Xbox to turn on and turn off, which can't even do that right now. It did before.
Cortana, not Xbox
well,
anymore.
yeah, pretty much. I think the watch was something that was supposed to be
integrated with the
Kinect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some way, somehow, sort of like talking to Siri, like with the Apple Watch, where you could talk to Cortana, or you could talk to Xbox at the time, right? And when that didn't go, when the Kinect sort of went by the waste, and they stopped bundling it with it, I think they said, you know what, this watch, we should just scrap it, because it means it's a peripheral that no one's going to care about. Because let's focus on games.
It probably would have worked with probably their fitness apps too, right? It would have been like a step counter and a pedometer and like all this stuff. Like it would have had all that in there too. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Like the fall of the Kinect and the whatever else, and then Microsoft or Apple announces like the Apple Watch and it's sleek, and they're like, well, our thing can't really do what that thing can do, and it's like, maybe not.
Well, let's be honest though. Let's just be honest.
Maybe not.
Every company has a lot of prototypes in R&D, right, to see if this could be a thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there was even rumors of the X-Boy.
Right.
Right? So they did talk about it. They did R&D it. I don't know if a prototype was actually made, but it was something that they did discuss and did put research in.
Yeah, and they were also trying to partner up with Gizmondo. I think the weird like indie third-party handheld thing. Which that could have been like worked into the fold of Xbox too,
Yeah.
But
so this is just a prototype that actually got out in the wild. All right. So don't know how well it would have done. I definitely wouldn't have bought it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, if you look at some of the supported features on here, replaceable watch bands, which Apple has for their thing.
Well, any smart
magnetic
watch.
charging and sync. Well, I mean,
any smartwatch out in the market right now has that.
Well, the smartwatches do, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, was like the first smartwatch? Did that have like the little
replaceable bands? I think so.
Oh,
I think
maybe.
so. Because that is the mark of a watch, replacing the bands. Because what if one of the links breaks?
Sure.
You have to get it replaced. So you have to be able to replace the bands.
But these are with like the smartwatches. It's just snap on, snap off, right? It's like super. You don't have to go to a jeweler.
No, you don't have to go. You don't have to go to a jeweler. So I think having the replaceable bands is like something that's like smartwatch 101.
Well, I guess so.
Has to be able to have replaceable bands.
I mean, they hit that mark, and it has the charging through the supported magnet on there. You just kind of pop it down, and then it starts charging. So
it's interesting to see that this got out wild. Not something that I think actually would have been anything. I don't think it would have worked anyway, to be honest.
Well, why not though? I mean, like that's like the question, because it looks like a bigger, fatter Apple Watch from
but my Apple Watch. All right, so my Apple Watch obviously gives you notifications from my phone. So I don't always have to pick up my phone. I can always do a quick view of what any notification on my phone to see if it's important enough to actually pick up my phone.
Right.
All right. Now, an Xbox smartwatch, theoretically, unless it has support for like Microsoft phones where you could do the same thing, where you could do the same thing.
Right.
If it's just an Xbox phone, an Xbox watch,
they would just give you notifications from your dashboard and whatever else, friends, messages, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Stuff that I don't even look at on my phone.
Right.
I can wait till I get home.
Right.
It's not that important.
We would assume all that stuff baked in. But,
yeah. I mean, other than talking to Siri, I would assume would need Wi-Fi too, right? You need Wi-Fi support to even talk to Siri. I just don't see the relevance of it.
Right. So I mean, like maybe you bring up a good point. The Windows Phone, the decline of the Windows Phone, and having almost zero market share. That was probably another thing too. Is like, well, it's only going to work with Xbox, and maybe they didn't see value in that. It's just like, well, it can't interact with my phone, and I don't care about the Xbox notifications. Why bother getting it? So I mean, yeah, I'll give you that.
It's just like I don't even on my phone. I don't have the Xbox app or the PlayStation app on my phone. Right. It's not. I can wait till I get home.
Exactly.
To see notifications from friends and family about any video games or anything else. Right. Yeah. So I don't really need that. So all right, let's move on to actual game. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes.
Coming
out October 27th.
I am actually looking forward to this game.
I know, and you hate stealth games.
I hate stealth games because I'm not really good at stealth games. I don't have the patience with stealth games. But there's a lot more to this than just being a stealth assassin. You can actually learn about Egypt. They have an educational side to it, to where it's not coming out with the game. Later on in 2018, you will be able to just roam around and just see historical monuments and pieces of Egypt. They're going to have like sort of like an educational section on the game. That the reason why it's not coming out now is because they don't want you to see any secrets that may be in a game.
Right.
Because you can roam freely around the game completely. Right.
And you can just go anywhere. Everything's opened up, and you can kind of do that. But I like this. I think it's a great idea. So I mean, this also means that Ubisoft went through all the trouble to make sure that their history is correct.
Yes.
Right? As much as possible.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I may not necessarily exclusively run around in free roam mode, but I'm definitely gonna check it out when it drops.
Imagine if you can run around in Shadow of Mordor, a fictional place,
and just learn about
history of stuff that doesn't exist.
I'd be down with that. I mean, Tolkien put out a book exclusively about the history and lore of Lord of the Rings, so people would be into it.
So, all right. So we talked about the voice. We talked a little bit about like the voice, the video game voice actor strike. That is actually set to come to an end soon. They suspended the strike, but they suspended it because they have to sign the official paperwork, the agreement next month. But at this point, it's just a formality. So we didn't really see any of the effects of the strike. Only to my knowledge, only with Life is Strange.
That's one notable.
That's one notable game that had a different voice actress. Even though the voice actress who did play that role still was involved in the project, I think she was a writer on the project. But because she's part of SAG, she cannot actually reprise her role on that, her voice wise at least. So a lot of things I mean, it's a negotiation. They didn't get everything they want, just like developers, didn't get everything they wanted.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I'm glad they came to a solution finally.
Yeah.
We can get all our classic voice actors back. Nolan North is Nathan Drake, maybe.
Yeah, but he wasn't part of that. He actually stood with developers and said
Did he?
Developers.
That's right.
Who spend 18 hours a day, and this is before crunch time, before gold, right? Should be getting residuals, not the voice actors who only spend 2 or 3 days in the booth.
I mean, look, everybody needs to eat, though, right? I mean,
SAG actors wanted the same sort of luxuries that their the video game SAG actors wanted the same luxuries that their counterparts in movies make. They just wanted the same that they get.
Right.
So, and obviously it was pushback because, developers, I mean, listen, publishers get the most money out of video games.
Of course.
Okay. Not even the devs get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Look,
and then everybody loses money on the secondary market, like that, GameStop, the whole the cycle of life thing, right?
Well, right. Any game that's not bought brand new doesn't go into the pocket of devs or publishers in any way, shape, or form.
Hence the evolution of DLC.
Well, right, yeah, they need to find ways to make money after the game comes out.
And microtransactions, yes.
Well, sure. But, do you want to go into some of the things that?
Well, look, they actually, I mean, some of these things that they actually got, you would think would be common sense, kind of, right? Like they get to know at least the code name of the game,
right,
and sort of what their character is involved in, like sort of. I can't believe they get to go in and have to voice a character and they don't know the situation that the character's in because they don't know anything about the game.
This is 100% fair, and they should know. Okay, here's the role you're reading for. Here's what you're getting into. If you can do a little bit of research and go like, well, is this a reoccurring franchise, right?
Well, they get to know that now too, because they get to know if this is a recurring franchise, if it's a sequel.
I mean, it's just like when you're going out for like roles and whatnot, if you have the option between role A and role B, and like role B is a character in like a Mario game that like there's going to be more and more Mario games. This could be a big thing. Like, I'm going to take the Mario game over like this new indie game that's coming out, right? And they want to make smart choices.
And they have a certain amount of time that they can be in the booth, right? Because obviously you don't want to spend all day doing one thing when being a voice actor in video games is hard.
Yeah.
So I think they get like a certain amount of time. They have allowed it to be there to actually perform.
Right.
Because they have other gigs.
It's basically like an 8-hour workday.
Yeah, because they have other gigs. Yeah. But to be fair, from the developer side, it is said that most video game leaks come from voice actors.
Yeah. I mean,
so I just can't believe they don't sign like non-disclosure agreements.
Well, I mean, they probably just don't. I mean, I'm assuming they do. If they don't, I mean, that should certainly be a thing. But like the famous thing is, I forget who the actress is, but when Assassin's Creed 1 came out, right before, like to bring it back to Origins a little bit, before anybody knew what Assassin's Creed was about, right? The Animus and going back in time and playing through the memories, like that was the big reveal of Assassin's Creed 1, and whoever the actress was on like Jimmy Fallon or Jay Leno.
Well,
or whatever
Jimmy Fallon wasn't out.
Well, whoever it was.
Conan, maybe.
Yeah, it could have been Conan or Kimmel or this or that. Like
Kimmel wasn't out either.
She basically spilled the beans on what the game was, and everyone was in an uproar of it. It's like, game's not even out yet, or the game was just about to come out, and she spoils. Like,
well, you know what? She shouldn't be able to be. She shouldn't be able to go on those shows. Like the NDA should say you can't talk about the game at all until the game is actually released.
Well, I mean, you just have to be smart about it.
Well, they're not. Well, the video game promotion and movie promotion are two different things. Okay, it's like
how are they different?
What do you mean? How are they different?
Like, I mean, you're out to promote a movie, right? You're out to promote the new Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to make the reveal that Darth Vader is Luke's father, right? You're just not going to say that. You're going to say, well, look, we got some good action scenes. This and that, you're gonna find out like new things about Luke.
Yeah, but
you dance around with the big plot points
video game promotion. No one goes on talk shows. Okay, in video game promotion,
they do.
The developer, which is essentially the director, right, is the one that's doing the talking. It's mostly promoted through trailers, and at video game events, right, like E3 and stuff like that.
I'll give you that. Yes, like those
and not to mention, you don't want to talk about what action scenes are in here, because video games are interactive.
Right.
You know, like a movie you watch 2 hours, that's it. That's dedicated time. 2 to 3 hours. A video game could be 100 hours. So people want to experience it for themselves.
So you mean to tell me if like
I don't want to know anything.
You mean to tell me if like
some trailers tell me too much.
You mean to tell me if like Alec Baldwin was voice acting?
Shut up. Yeah, I would tell him to shut up. Don't say anything.
Grand Theft Auto.
Don't say anything. I don't want to hear any. Listen, the trailers probably tell me too much.
Why even bother watching the trailer then?
Huh?
Why even bother watching the trailer?
I don't watch some trailers.
I'm just,
Give me like. I don't like the final usually the final trailer shows too much.
You can, yeah.
Right, because there are usually 3 different trailers that come out for video games, and the third trailer usually shows too much. The first trailer definitely just gives you a snippet, just gives you a little test. Right.
Yeah, it's a little, the teaser trailer.
The teaser trailer. Trailer. And then you have sort of the release trailer. Mm-hmm. I could do that. I usually don't like to, right before the game comes out, or the whatever video game event comes out before the game comes out. I don't want to see that trailer, because that's usually the last trailer that tells me too much I don't want to know.
Well, fair enough. I mean, people just need to be smart, especially with gaming now. Like the most lucrative out of like movies, music, TV, and all that stuff. Like gaming, I think is number 1 now.
Yeah, but
in terms of profit,
Well, video games have been number 1. Bigger than the movie industry for the last like 10 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying. So now that it's like this big kind of number 1 thing and whatnot, no matter where you're at or what venue you're at, people need to be smart about things that are coming out. Is basically what it is. Because like devs can slip. Yeah,
but devs usually they can slip, or they can actually tell things that aren't really true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Hence No Man's Sky.
Right. We're gonna have dinosaurs.
Yeah. So
Still waiting on those dinosaurs.
So guess what? So no one should talk. Just post the trailer,
Yeah.
and that's it. Okay.
Maybe just the title screen, not even the trailer.
And just the first level at trade shows.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. So we talked about earlier in the show that we got the SNES Classic. We both got NES Classics last year. Do you think there's going to be a craze for Commodore 64 mini classics?
I do.
That makes one of us.
Well, you never had the Commodore.
I
You
never had
grew
the
up with
Commodore. All right.
So
there apparently is a mini version of the Commodore 64 coming next year.
I am excited for this. You have no clue what this is, or really any care about it, which is understandable.
Well, it's coming. I mean, it came, well, first of all, when it launched, I was I was just born, and you were like 10. So, it came out in 82.
Yeah, exactly. It came out in 82. We had one in our house that got stolen. We got robbed, and we got a second one with the money that we got for the first one. But I mean, it was
So
great.
it's the mini is gonna be priced at $70. It's coming out early 2008. I mean 2008. 10 years. It's 9 years late.
Well,
No, it's coming out 2018. I don't know any of these games. I never played. It's going to include like games, I guess, popular games as California Games and Speedball 2.
You haven't played California Games?
I never even heard of California Games. What
Are
is
you
that?
kidding me?
Is that
California Games came out for like everything.
Is it came out on NES?
Yes. And it came out on Genesis. And it came out on Super Nintendo.
Never heard of it.
It came out on Apple. It came out on the Apple IIe.
It came out on a Pippin?
Yeah, probably.
I never heard of it.
Probably. I mean, it's going to have 64 games, which is perfect. 64 games for the Commodore 64.
The N64 mini should have 64 games.
You would think, yeah. You would think. There's going to be 2 USB ports on there. HDMI out, so you can just put it right up to the TV. I feel like it's going to be as polished as an SNES or NES Classic.
With games that I never heard of.
Well, I mean, you never had the system. But
I never had the system.
Cybernoid 2 is on there. Firelord.
Wasn't there a lot of piracy with the Commodore? I mean, it was a computer.
It was very easy to pirate on there. You basically just get a program that allows you to copy the discs. You make a little punch hole in the side of the disc, and boom, there it is. Then you can just copy right to it.
So I mean, Commodore 64 was more. I mean, I know you had it and you liked it, but it was more popular in Europe apparently.
It was big in Europe.
It was huge in Europe.
It was big in Europe. Well, I mean, the successor to the Commodore was the Amiga, which was also a European console or computer that also came out over here and had big success over there as well. Like that was like their big follow-up after the 64, the 128, and then the Amiga. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll do real well in Europe. I think it'll do pretty well here. I hope they put out enough. That's all I'm worried about.
I don't think they're going to be Amazon treasure trucks just for the Commodore 64 mini.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. I'm definitely going to get one
though. Something that's definitely not coming out is a Vita 2 or a Vita Switch. So Andrew House works at Sony Interactive Entertainment. He's the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Recently said Sony doesn't have any plans to make a sort of Vita Switch, a PS4 hybrid type console. He says it's pretty much the handheld is a limited market.
Maybe. I mean, the 3DS did really well.
3DS did well, but that was years ago. It is dying out now.
It was 5 years ago.
It was dying out now.
I would say that
they're trying to give it his last hurrah with all the limited editions and Metroid.
I would say the mobile the mobile phone platform is kind of eclipsing that.
It is. Even Nintendo is they have this big mobile push that they're about to come out with. I mean, they sort of dibbled and dabbled in it, but they have that partnership with like one of the biggest mobile like sort of gaming companies in the West, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like
well, in Japan, I should say.
Look at what they did with their mobile games, right? They made games that were specifically for mobile phones. They made Mario Run, which is a game where Mario automatically runs and all you do is jump. It's one tap, right? If you try to put like Mario Odyssey on the phone, even if it could run it perfectly, it doesn't have the right control scheme, right? You need to have some sort of dedicated controls for it. You know, that's why I think like the mobile market still is good. One thing I'll say about Sony, if they tried to make a hybrid, is I don't think they'd be able to make it as powerful as their home console. So they'd have to downgrade it, make it like the Switch, where you can take it on the go and it still runs. Which means that Microsoft would then have the most powerful console on the market. Sony doesn't want to give that up.
Sony doesn't want to give up the living room.
Right.
I mean, the whole reason why Xbox even got into the console business is because they didn't want Sony to dominate the living room.
Right.
So I don't think Sony wants to give that up. I do think they do have a Vita 2-ish style or PSP 2 style handheld in R&D.
Mm-hmm.
Just
but you
to
don't
test.
think it's going to come out?
I think. I mean, what else is he supposed to say right now? Hey, we're working on a second handheld.
Well, of course,
right?
Yeah. You can't really say it until you know it's going to be coming out.
Yeah. I mean, he basically said that they're focused on putting out quality products for the living room, obviously, in gaming. PS4 is doing well.
Yeah.
And they're interested in VR space, right? So that I believe. I do think they have to have a prototype handheld.
Oh, of course.
That's just not going to come out.
Of course.
If they can't sort of match the success or I don't even want to say match the success of the Switch, but sort of the PSP. They don't want to have another Vita situation.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't mind that. But you were talking about Mario Run. It has an update. Now you have a couple of different challenges where you can pretty much rescue Princess Daisy, and then you can play as her, and she sort of has a dash mechanic. Also, they have like 10 bite-sized new sections. Well, they have 10 bite-sized sections in pre-existing Super Mario Run levels.
The Remix 10, right?
Yes.
Like frantic mode or whatever.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you just have to kind of beat them in like quick order and kind of run through that.
So this just proves that they are updating to Mario Run. It wasn't just sort of a one-time thing. You pay you pay $10, you unlock all the levels, and that was it. Yeah. So there is some DLC out for this. Yeah. They actually changed the icon too. I didn't even notice that, where Mario now is winking.
Yeah. I ended up loading it up. I'm like, wait a minute. He's got a little wink going on.
So what happens with the next DLC? He's gonna have his eyes closed?
I don't know. One thing that's actually kind of neat is that if you play with like music going on in the background, each one of the characters will wear headphones while they're running through the levels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
They all have Beats by Dre?
Probably. Or no, like Beats by Donkey.
Beats by Donkey. All right, so let's actually take it back a little bit to the best game ever to be created of all time, Super Mario World. Mm-hmm. So there was always
keep telling yourself that.
There was always confusion where people thought, well, I don't have to. It is what it is. People thought, there was some confusion. There was an argument over the long-standing argument over, is he beating Yoshi over the head, or is he to actually eat enemies, or is he pointing to the enemies?
Right.
And
I always thought it was a bop in the head, personally.
I never really cared. Just like, as long as it works.
Confirmed now, it is a bop on the head. So he basically bangs Yoshi's head
every time
to make him spit his tongue out.
Yes. So basically, he's no longer a plumber. And animal cruelty.
Yeah, and he's also PETA may have some words on this. I wouldn't be surprised if PETA puts out a statement about this. And cruelty to dinosaurs.
And he has nipples.
And Mario has nipples now.
Yeah, he does. Man.
Eventually, he's going to start growing chest hair like a true Italian plumber.
Well, he's not a plumber anymore.
Italian general athlete or whatever he is.
He's like 2 feet tall compared to normal.
Yeah, he's very tiny.
He's very tiny. So maybe that's why he can't grow hair. Mario's not a real grown man. He just grows a beard.
He's not a GMG.
He's not a GMG.
Oh my god.
He's not a GMG.
You like that?
He's not a GMG.
No.
All right, so Bethesda. So we know Skyrim's coming out. I've never played Skyrim.
You're about to though once it drops for the Switch.
Once it drops for the Switch, but in celebration of the SNES Classic dropping, Bethesda dropped some old school SNES box art for Skyrim Elder Scrolls V.
It is on point.
Yeah, it is what the box art would have been if it would have came out for Super Nintendo.
It's fantastic.
I hope they do something. Like, I hope this is like the inside of the case.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be, or give like a limited edition card with this in it or something.
I like the manual cover, maybe.
If it is a manual, a lot of Switch games don't come with manuals.
Yeah, true.
Or no, we take that back. No Switch game, with the exception of 1 or 2, come with manuals.
Right.
So yeah, they should put like a limited edition like manual in it. That would be awesome.
It's super cool. Yeah, you should definitely check it out online.
All right. Lastly, Sonic. We were doing so well, Sega. We were doing so well. Sonic Mania came out. Everyone thought Sonic Mania was great. Some people say it's the best Sonic game of all time.
I wouldn't say they're wrong.
I wouldn't say they're right, but I wouldn't say they're wrong either.
All right.
Sonic 2. I'm sorry. So I like Sonic 2.
This is much better than Sonic 2.
I like Sonic 2 better. As a matter of fact, I like playing Sonic 2 with Sonic and Knuckles.
There you go.
So in Japan, Sega has partnered up with a partner I never thought I would see with Sonic, Hooters.
Oh, come on. Sega is with it. Sega knows what's up.
Sega is for the cool kids?
Sega's for the cool kids, and they all know the cool kids go to Hooters.
Yeah, the kids go to Hooters. I mean, obviously, it's a play with young adults. Mm-hmm. So they're sort of promoting Sonic to young adults.
So there's like 3 Hooters establishments, as they say here, like select Hooters establishments in Shibuya West, Ginza, and
you got it.
Asosaka?
That was a good...
Akosasa. There we go.
That was a good attempt.
Yeah, you know. So I wish I could be there. I would totally go and see what this whole Sonic thing is about, and have some mediocre wings and some fries and cheap beer. I would totally do that. Tell me you wouldn't go if we were going to Japan this month and they had this going on. You wouldn't want to go?
Only if they had
just to see.
Only if they had kiosks where you can actually play Sonic Mania.
But you own Sonic Mania already.
Or Sonic Forces. Well,
all right, yeah.
Well, obviously this is a play to promote Sonic Mania, which already came out, and to promote Sonic Forces that's coming out. Yes.
Right.
Then yes, I would do that if they would play. Yeah, I can have me some chicken fingers with some fries, and play some Sonic Forces. Play a Sonic Forces demo.
Yeah.
And play Sonic Mania. Yeah, I would maybe. I wouldn't post it on Instagram.
Yeah,
That'll be my secret.
We've definitely seen wackier promotions, but this is definitely up there.
So, all right. Let's get into our second review roundup, which will lead us into our Convo of the Week. Mm-hmm. Star Fox 2. Now, you were a little mad that you had to actually play the first level of Star Fox 1 to unlock Star Fox 2.
It's just like, don't make me jump through that hoop. Just give me Star Fox 2.
I didn't think it was a big issue. I mean, hey, look, if people never played Star Fox 1, this is a good introduction. Beat the first level, which isn't that hard, and then you can unlock Star Fox 2.
Right.
So, you liked Star Fox 2, correct? What's your take on Star Fox 2?
I mean, Star Fox 2 is essentially just Star Fox 1 with slightly better frame rate, and
it's open world.
And it's got like a strategy mechanic where you basically have to defend your planet, and you get a bunch of different places to go to, and the commander will tell you, okay, these battleships are firing missiles at your planet. These planets have bases on there where enemies have their installed armies and whatnot. Be smart and take out the right ones in the certain order so that you prevent your planet from being hit. Right. So that's brand new over the first one. The first one was just go from planet to planet and beat that level and then get to the end. You could choose which path you went down. This is now like super open world. So I'm digging it. I don't know. I'm digging the mechanic.
I gotta admit, I wasn't really digging the game.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love Star Fox 1.
Right.
I mean, when it first came out, I played hours of that game. Mm-hmm. Star Fox 2, being so open, you could go anywhere in that level.
Yeah.
On a D-pad just doesn't work for me. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah, all right.
In my opinion.
All right.
Especially when you're trying to chase someone in an asteroid field and you
the action scenes you weren't a fan of either.
I wasn't a fan of the action.
Okay.
Scenes. No.
Fair enough.
I need a stick. I need a joystick, not a D-pad to navigate through that.
Right.
It wasn't fun for me.
Okay.
It was okay. It was a great experience to play, and I'm going to try to play more of it.
So if I can get this right, you're saying the game is showing its age.
The game is showing. I don't think I would have liked it back then either. To be honest.
Okay. Fair.
So because I was playing Star Fox, once I unlocked Star Fox, the first level of Star Fox 1, I immediately started playing Star Fox 2.
Right, of course.
And then went back to playing Star Fox 1.
Wow, interesting. All right.
So I was like, I'm not a big fan of Star Fox 2.
All right. So let's get into some of these review numbers because this is kind of going to inform our conversation.
All right. So Eurogamer doesn't give numbers from what I can tell. They gave it a recommended. It was recommended.
Okay. They gave it a thumbs up.
They gave it a thumbs up. Nintendo Life. No bias there, right? Gave it an 8. Destructor gave it a 7. But pretty much the whole premise of our convo of the week is based on IGN and GameSpot both giving it a 5.
They gave it a 5,
which is bad. Bad game.
5 is pretty mediocre.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
But it's not that they call it the game mediocre. Is that openly they are reviewing the game, which made 20 years ago, in 2017 standards. Now the question is, should retro games be reviewed under modern standards?
Well, let's go ahead and define retro. So we're talking about old school games, right?
Yes.
It's a game you haven't played before. The game is technically nobody's played before, right? I mean, you could say the same about Super Castlevania 4, right? If somebody picks that game up and they start playing it, what are their impressions of that game? Like if they had to give a review on the spot now in 2017, does that game hold up, right?
Yeah. Sam Claiborne from IGN, who I like him as a personality and I like his opinions because he's more of a, listen, IGN's a lot of modern gamers, right? A lot of young people that work there too now, have a lot of turnover. But he's one of those guys that, he loves arcade games. He's one of those retro players. Like he's a retro guy, right? And I was surprised when he said on pretty much in Game Scoop and his review that he, is pretty much, he's like, he doesn't understand grading it on retro standards or modern standards. It's 2017, so he's just giving it as a review. And I got to say, I disagree with him because games that he would say that don't hold up now got high scores when they came out because they were great at the time.
Well, right. They were technical marvels. Like when Star Fox first came out, there was nothing like it, right?
Yeah.
There was maybe a handful of PC games that had some 3D on there, but most people hadn't played them. It wasn't as big of a market.
And he even said himself that Star Fox 1 doesn't even hold up now. But
if you wanted to grade Star Fox now, it would not get a 9.
It would not get a 9, but it got a 9 at the time.
It did.
Right?
It did.
So, I totally I 1,000% disagree with his review if he's given it a 5 on modern standard from 2017 standards.
Well, I mean, you have to kind of look at it. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think the 5 is too harsh. I would give the game a 7. I think it's a solid 7. It gets a couple points off because it hasn't aged well, right? The frame rate is pretty low. Maybe 20 frames, maybe 15 frames for Star Fox 2. And it's hard to play. Like, you were saying it was hard to play. It
wasn't fun for me. It wasn't fun for me.
Right. So, I mean, you do have to definitely note that in the article. To take off 4 points or 3 points from it is a little bit harsh for that. But I do see where they're coming from. Well,
it is hard to turn back the hands of time 20 years and give it a review then. But I don't think... I don't know. I don't think you should judge a game that was made for 20 years ago now. Like you should judge it for when it came out.
But the whole thing about it is like everybody's playing it for the first time. You're telling people, is this game worth playing? And it's kind of not.
Let me ask you
kind of not.
Let me ask you a question. Would 1996 Dave love this game?
Yeah, and 1993 Dave loved Star Fox, but I'm honestly probably not going to play much of Star Fox.
2.
1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah. I mean they're Star Fox 2, the action scenes to me are the same as Star Fox 1. They're a little bit better, but they're still poor. You know. It's not the best. Super Mario World, I'm going to give that game a nod. That game holds up really well. It had really tight controls, and the graphics were great for its time. It did innovate, and the game is still tight, and the game is still fun to play.
You know what would have been better? If they, just for one time, not going forward, just one time, got an old reviewer, an old journalist from the mid 90s who, I mean, first of all, IGN, I don't think came around until was it 96 or was it 97? I think it was 97.
A little earlier than that.
No, they came around in 97. I think they came around in 97 because they were the N64. It was N64.com before it was IGN.
Oh, the website. I'm sorry. I was thinking of EGM.
Yeah.
My mistake. No, I think you're 100% right.
So, but I think they need to get like an old school, one of those old journalists from back then to review this game.
Right.
Because they lived through that era and reviewed games in that era and would have more of, they would have more of a mindset of reviewing that game for that era because that was their era.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me right now what I would give the game if it came out in 1996, I'd probably give it like an 8.5 or 9.
Really?
At the time,
I think
it's tight. I think it's tight for the time. It was still like 3D was still young. Like you look at any game that's on the PlayStation, like those don't really hold up that well. Like Tomb Raider doesn't hold up that well. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver doesn't necessarily hold up that well. The camera was all wonky all over the place. Like even like Mario 64 doesn't really hold up that well. So I mean, I think it was definitely of that time. I think it did good with the technology available for that time. I'll say that.
Again, I think they would have been better served getting an old school reviewer just to review this game one time only. A game that never came out. It's not about going back to re-review games to modern standards. This game never came out,
right?
So it never got its proper due, right?
Of course.
So I would have, if we had actual, big website review scores, I would have asked somebody from back in the day to come in just one time only, give it a review. Judge it on its merits from 96,
right?
And it probably would have got an 8 because it was one of the first games, right? This sort of had that open world-ish feel where you can go anywhere, right?
Sure, yeah.
And the whole
definitely unique
and unique. You got to strategize on which world you pick, right? What battles you pick because you got to pretty much save the planet, and they have new characters and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And it was a new mechanic. It was the first one to actually, take it from space combat to land combat.
Right.
It was the first Star Fox.
Right.
Right. So that's what I would have did. I don't think you should. I mean, if you want to go review games, that's one thing to see if they still hold up. But a game that never got released, or a game that never got released, listen. Shovel Knight was made with old school aesthetic with new
mechanics.
Right. So that's
I
different.
mean, they knew that, like picking up like Castlevania's stiff.
Yeah.
Right. People love it for a number of reasons and whatnot, and you can get through it if you know what you're doing, but the controls are stiff, right? And they're like, we're not going to do that. Like Mega Man can be a little bit wonky and whatnot. We're going to make this game playable.
And I give you an example. And it's Double Dragon 4. All right, Double Dragon 4. Was it 4 or 5?
It's 4.
It's 4.
Yeah, it should be 5.
It should be 5. It was 4. So that came out. And
actually, it should be 6 technically. Because Double Dragon 5 was the fighting game, but that's
the new there. Yeah. So Double Dragon 4 came out earlier this year, and it pretty much got a 4. Awful.
Yeah.
Right now, I played it. It is not awful. If it would have came out when it was supposed to come out, back in around this time, I think this game would have definitely got a solid 8. Right? I mean, the game, it is an old game with old school mechanics.
Right. It is very much just another Nintendo game.
It is just another Nintendo game. It is not a new game with modern modern mechanics. Mm-hmm. So, and I actually went into it thinking that I'm playing in pretty much an NES game,
right?
And the game is hard, but I loved it so much.
Sure.
I loved it so much. I bought it again on the Switch.
There you go.
It made it to. It's 10 levels, and I keep making it to level 7.
Mm-hmm.
This game is made for multiplayer. You cannot beat this. It is really hard to beat it by yourself.
I'm gonna have to get the Switch version of it. We'll
play
it.
it.
Tag team it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll tag team it.
So again, they looked at this game that should have been released 20 years ago with modern standards, and I think that was a mistake. So games like that should be reviewed, I think, in my opinion, by old school reviewers who gave reviews back then, who will see it in that light and give it a proper review for back then.
I mean, like, and I'll give you that. I think.
And Pat the NES Punk agrees with me because he tweeted this out.
I think your point is very valid, but if IGN gave this game a 9, right? So you don't agree that it's an 8.
Me personally, 1996 Dan probably would have thought this game was amazing and difficult, and would have put hours into it, and then gave up, halfway through because obviously the difficulty would have ramped up. I never beat the original Star Fox.
Right.
And yeah, the game today doesn't hold up, but I went right back to the original Star Fox, and I was playing it last night.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely got its issues. I kind of wish they fixed the frame rate a little bit and juiced it up a little bit. It would have been not console perfect, It would have been beyond the specs of the Super Nintendo a little bit, but I think it would have been a little bit more playable. Personally. Well, all right. That about does it. Episode 88 in the books. You guys can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. You can always email us at ratedgforgamers@gmail.com. So please like, listen, subscribe.
And as always, keep gaming.